Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Blanco the Islam, and it's time for your best ways to make money this week in GTA Online. Of course, this is a new weekly series that I plan on doing here on the channel. I did one last week, and I'm going to continue to do it moving forward, where I pretty much will go a little bit in depth on, some pretty good ways to make money every single week in GTA Online, because of course, as we all know, they do the weekly updates every single Thursday. So I will try, like Saturdays or Sundays or whatever, to try to get these types of videos out, because of course we have our best things to buy every single week. That's every Friday. So this one will probably be Saturday or Sunday, where again, I will go over the best ways to make money in each particular week of GTA Online. So before we get into the video, hit that like and subscribe button. It takes 1 second of your time, and I do appreciate it. So let's get into our first decent way of making money this week. It's going to be with the Terabyte. Now, Terabytes are 30% off. For those of you who don't know, up until Thursday of the release of this video, Terabytes will be 30% off. And they come with client jobs on this computer here. And the client jobs are what's double money this week. So normally these pay from like 30 to 40,000. Now they'll pay between like 60 to 80,000 per client job. Now, it's not insane good money or anything like that, but they do only take like 5 to 10 minutes, and they are actually pretty fun. They have some stuff like bank robberies and stuff like that. Now, it won't be available to us here because we are parked inside our garment factory, but all you have to do is pull the Terabyte outside to somewhere suitable, and you can launch those client jobs. And in 5 to 10 minutes, you can make about 70 grand on average. Now, in the background here is one of the first client jobs that I did. It was pretty cool. Basically, you get on your security cameras, you got to find the robbers who are robbing the bank, and you go take the gold from them. Now, of course, we all wish that these would pay more. Unfortunately, they don't, but good news for us, if you do complete all the client jobs in your Terabyte, you will actually get $100,000 bonus for the week. So I believe there's 6 of them, and if they all pay 60 to 70,000, you're gonna make about 360 to 400K plus that 100,000 for the weekly challenge. So you will make about $500,000 for completing all the client jobs. So that is pretty important to point out, because the Terabyte, I believe, is just under $1 million while it's on sale this week. So doing all the client jobs with that weekly challenge will essentially pay for about half. So pretty much it's almost like you're getting the Terabyte for an additional half off. Also, just be wary, there is a juggernaut here at this bank heist, so be careful. He did smoke my boots like 2 or 3 times. And then I had to, should approach it a little bit more strategically. So the client jobs are definitely fun, and, them being on double money is pretty dope. And again, you do get, that extra $100,000 for completing that weekly challenge. So I would definitely recommend doing it, and definitely recommend getting a Terabyte in general. If you currently do not own one, definitely go ahead and grab one. Now, another really good way to make money this week is going to be with the Acid Lab, which, by the way, is also on sale with 30% off, including the Acid Lab upgrade inside of it. That's the Brigade 6x6. So definitely grab one if you don't. The Acid Lab is one of the best businesses for solo players, as the sale missions are very solo friendly. And you just use that dirt bike that we just walked past. So it'll always be a 1-vehicle sale mission. And in public sessions, you can make just over $500,000 each sale. And this week, the production will be ×2. So you can make that $500,000 much, much faster. There is also a feature within the Acid Lab that allows you to boost production ×4. And yes, this will stack with the ×2 multiplier. So with that being said, every time you hit this ×4 right here, it will activate a ×8 production speed for half an hour. So that will pretty much fill up your Acid Lab in just 30 minutes. And like I said, as you can see, it's worth $350,000 in a solo session. If you sell in a full public lobby, though, you can make just over $500,000. And this is definitely a very solid way to make money this week. Also, the DAX missions, are going to be double money. And those are the missions that you have to call up DAX and request, work from them. Those will be double money as well, so just something to keep note of also. Now, one of my personal favorite ways to make money this week, and I really hope that they continue doing this moving forward with the Garment Factory, of course, is the priority file this week, and that is the black box file. It is not only the priority file, but it's also on double money. So that's $620,000 for like 20 or 30 minutes of work. And I absolutely hope that Rockstar continues this and makes the priority file double money more frequently, or if anything, every week. Why not just make that a thing that every week the priority files double money. I think that would make the Garment Factory honestly one of the best businesses in the entire game. If we could have a way of making $620,000 in just 20 to 30 minutes of work every single week, plus the missions are fun and they're like new, it's a breath of fresh air compared to the other ways of making money, that would be a huge buff for the Garment Factory, honestly. You know, a lot of the new businesses that have been dropping in GTA lately, like the Salvage Yard, you know, the McKinsey Airfield Hangar, they come with some fun missions and stuff like that, but the money making on them is not really up to par or in the same tier as some of the older businesses, like the nightclub, like the bunker, like the CEO cargo warehouse. It's just, they make a lot more profit and a lot more money in single transactions with the sale missions and stuff. But it would be really cool if they kind of started buffing these newer businesses like the McKinsey Airfield, like the Bounty Hunter stuff, like the Garment Factory, you know, priority files, the FIB files, whatever you want to call them. It would be really cool if they gave a buff to all of these things like we're seeing this week with the double money on the priority file, because it gives us a reason to run these things over the older stuff, you know, and running these things are honestly really fun. And I do highly recommend it because it does add, you know, a little bit more spice, I guess you could say, in your gameplay. Cause of course, running nightclub, bunker, and cargo warehouse, and Perico, and, you know, the agency and the Drake contract, all that stuff gets old. But anyway, that's pretty much sums up my rant. I just want them to keep it up with these, you know, double money on the priority files. I think that would be really, really good for the Garment Factory. And, you know, I want to spend more time in my Garment Factory. That's Lester's old, you know, workstation and stuff. It's nostalgic, right? Like, we want to be in the Garment Factory. I want it to be a viable way of making money in this game. I think that would be really, really dope. But anyway, that does essentially wrap up our video. Again, this is going to be kind of like a weekly series I plan on doing, where I just kind of give you guys a heads up, some simple reminders on some really good and efficient ways to make money in GTA every single week, being that, of course, they do have updates every single Thursday, and you would know that unless you live on Mars. But GTA does do updates every single Thursday, and most of the time there's some pretty decent ways to make money. And I will do these even when there's no good ways of making money. We will just cover in general the best ways to make money every single week, even if there aren't that many. But this week we do have a few options, which we did of course cover in this video. Now, if you like a weekly series like this, or if you found it helpful at all, if this sparked any interest in you to go out and make some money in GTA this week, hit a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. It takes 1 second of your time. It really helps the channel grow, and I do tremendously appreciate it. And until the next video, peace out, boys.